Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville joining me right now. Good morning, Senator.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I know you love talking about this. You have really rallied to show people that you're not going to basically sit back and let the Biden administration do whatever it wants when it comes to abortion. I know that there were efforts to reverse the policy instituted back in September of 2022. There are easy research papers that you can find that this was a blatant violation of Section 106 of the Veterans Health Care Act of 1992, which explicitly prohibits the department from providing abortion services. So where does your fight stand now?
Well, we lost yesterday, what was it, 51-49. We had a couple of Republicans that voted against us. And, that's the thing about the Republican side. They usually vote for their constituents instead of voting for party. I've noticed that since I've been here for 2 years, but the Democrats usually just vote party line. Now, Joe Manchin did vote with me yesterday. But that being said, this is not as much about abortion. Since I've been here, I've just noticed the things that goes on here in this Capitol, in this building, is that we legislate now from the White House. In 1992, as you said, the VA Health Care Act was passed by the Democrats. They said we will not have abortions in the VA. Well, all of a sudden, after Roe Wade goes down, which kicked abortion vote back down to the states, Joe Biden says we're just going to go ahead and do abortions in the VA. We're not going to listen to Congress. And my fight was about, hey, if we're not going to vote on this, if we're not going to legislate from Congress and let the White House legislate, let's lock the doors of this building and go home and save the people a lot of money, because we're not doing our job here. So this wasn't as much about abortion as it was about we're going through the wrong process, we're not doing our job, and we're allowing one group to determine everything that we do here in this building.
But in terms of the systems there, you talked about a lot of Republicans are just voting for particular constituents, or they're voting because of certain constituents. Is this a culture war, whether it was abortion or something else? Is this really about politicians really leaning more into a new day, so to speak, when it comes to legislating?
Well, I would hope that we all legislate by the people that we represent. In Alabama, there was a lot of things I voted against that a lot of Republicans have voted for in the last 2 years that my constituents basically said, we don't want that. I'm not representing me. I'm representing everybody back in Alabama. And we forget that sometimes. Up here, we just kind of vote by our conscience. Some people do. They look at some things that say, I like this better than I like that. And that's not the way to do it. And it has gotten us into a bind. And it's just a matter of being up here for so long. We got so many people who's been up here forever. We need term limits. We need new blood up here. We need people that make decisions and not worry about getting reelected. And a lot of these votes that we make up here, a lot of people make, is to get reelected and continue to have the power they have in their hands up here. It's an amazing place.
I can only imagine. It's a very rare place, a rare air, Mr. Senator. But let's talk about the Department of Defense appointments you're holding up over similar policies on abortion access for military personnel. There are some critics who say you're prioritizing abortion over national security. What do you say to that?
It's not about abortion. We've had an abortion policy in the military for years and years. We've done abortions, and we've had a policy for that. And last summer, I hear that they're going to change the policy after Roe Wade come down. Biden administration, the DOD says, hey, let's find a way to go around all this, and we can implement our own abortion policy. You can't do that. And so I tried to get a briefing, finally got one before Christmas from Secretary Austin of the Defense Department. I'm listening to this briefing, and I'm going, you can't do this. You can't change the policy. We make the policies. You don't. And they said, well, we don't care. We're going to do it anyway. So I wrote them a letter, said, if you do this now, I'm going to block all of your nominees and flagship officers. And February the 8th, they went ahead and implemented the policy. Same day, I put a hold on it. And until I get a good reasoning and a good answer for what they're doing and why they're trying to run the country by the executive branch, I'm not going to pull these holds off. Again, it's not about abortion. We've already got abortion in the military. It's about doing the proper thing, about doing it the right way, and about giving the people a choice. People in Alabama had no choice to do this. They were told, we're going to do more abortions in the military, like it or not. And I'm not going to put up with that. I'm going to hold until till they start screaming from the White House, which they've already started doing, by the way.
Well, I want to make sure that I list some of the numbers, because you're saying that there is already abortion policy for the military. That is correct. It has been limited to cases of rape, incest, or pregnancies that threaten the life of the mother, but it's in place for those rare cases. The Department of Defense saying they average fewer than 20 abortions a year under the current policy, unless they are applying the 2022 ruling by the Biden administration. According to a third-party study, the number of abortions subsidized by the Department of Defense could increase to more than 4,000 abortions a year. I just thought our viewers would need to hear that. Again, that was a third-party study cited by officials. We want to thank you, Senator Tuberville, for being with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.